Hello, and welcome to our country. I'm your host, George Capignaris, and this is Aussie Jokers. Tonight on Aussie Jokers, someone who was absolutely huge in the 80s. AustenTayshus, ring a bell? No? We'll see if you remember this. It's a little piece of comedy called Australiana, which at one time was the largest selling comedy single in Oz history.
Well, just then Warra comes out of the kitchen with a few drinks for everybody. Fair dinkum, you've never seen a cooler bar, mate. I grabbed a beer and said, thanks, Warra, ta.
Well, AustenTayshus, whose real name is Sandy Goodman, is known in comedy circles as a wild and edgy kind of guy. Tonight we travel to Poland with Sandy, looking for what's in this comedian's history that fuels his unique brand of aggressive comedy. Is it his Jewishness? Is it some kind of sociological reaction to Australian society? Or is he just obnoxious? Decide for yourself.
Does anybody know what chutzpah is? Anybody heard that? Anybody heard the expression chutzpah? Well, chutzpah is a Yiddish expression. That is when you kill your parents and you throw yourself at the mercy of the court because you're an orphan. Now, I'll give you another example. A Jewish guy goes to the Ku Klux Klan headquarters in Ipswich. He knocks on the door, and the Klanswoman comes to the door, and she says, "You're a Jew. I hate Jews. You come here again, I'm gonna hang you." So the Jewish guy goes away but comes back every day for 6 months because of chutzpah. Finally, he knocks on the door, the Klansman comes, Klanswoman, Klansman, doesn't matter. She says, "You're that Jew been coming here for months. I recognize you. You come here again, I'm gonna hang you." The Jewish guy says, "Excuse me, who is the buyer for the hoods?" I said, a lot of people didn't get that, but doesn't matter. It's because it's a Jewish humor. I'm AustenTayshus.
My name is Jacek Dobrobolski. I'm a comedian. I live in Warsaw. I'm famous. I am a freak.
I was born 9 years after the Holocaust. My father spent 5 years as a guest of the Germans. Like every Jewish person, and any person who has a soul, I'm trying to understand what is going on. So it's a strange experience to be here in Germany for the very first time as a Jew. 50 years ago, I couldn't walk around the streets of Berlin like I am now because somebody would throw me in a car and drop me in a hole. Here is a sign right outside a railway station in Berlin, which basically says we should never forget the concentration camps of the Nazi period. How can one forgive the unforgivable? That is the unforgivable. Excuse me, can you speak English? No. No? Oh, excuse me? Can you speak some English? No. Can you speak English? No. If I was stopped at a railway station in Australia by a German who asked me if I spoke German and would I cooperate in a documentary that would make Australians not look too good, I don't know if I would speak German either. Are you German? No. Do you like German people? No. What do you think of the Germans?
The principle is very good.
The principles.
The principles.
But they're murderers.
Principles and.
But they murdered 6 million Jewish people.
Yes, of course.
So what
black side of German history.
German history or the German soul? So here we are on the platform where our train is waiting departure to Poland. Obviously the train thing is highly symbolic. As you can see, our train has just gone. So we are in a little bit of trouble.
I'm here because I'm an Anzac. I'm a true Anzac. I'm a true Australian Anzac. I love a sun burntry. I love this place. I've got a new Australian flag. It's got a melanoma on a white background with the words, "Get the whole world."
Whichever culture I'm in, I take the attitude of satirising that culture, and I enjoy that that satirical thing. Like the Americans had a comedian called Lenny Bruce, and he was there to keep the bastards honest, that sort of thing. And it's the sort of comedy that I'm interested in just pushing the envelope, upsetting as many people as possible. I've upset a lot of people in Germany. I haven't been arrested here, which is unfortunate, but the more people I can upset, the better. Suddenly, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay.
You know what? Do it another time. I'm sorry. Shut up, for Christ's sake.
Shut yourself. And yesterday, suddenly. La-da-dee-da-dee-da-da-dee. La-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dum.
Okay, you two, you're under arrest.
How did I know it was you?
My first impression of Jacek were basically, was he going to pay for the cab or were we going to pay for the cab? And I mean that, in a philosophical sense. He's a very necessary part of our little team here because he introduces us to all the young Polish girls, and he's also he's doing a little bit of interpreting on the side.
Why are the Jewish people never given the opportunity to live in peace in this country? I don't understand that.
I'm sorry, they were given opportunity, and we lived peacefully for hundreds of years. And
They were, but eventually they were hated here, weren't they? They were hated here for, because they were industrious. You must be a Catholic.
I'm not a Catholic. My parents were Catholic. They left the church because of its anti-Semitism, because of its stupidity in their teens.
The point is, though, that anti-Semitism has a very long tradition here.
My father founded an anti-racist league here.
Right. So Poland basically is a graveyard to dead Jews. There's monuments all over the place to dead Jews. So do you think that Poland is worse off now that the Jews have gone?
This is a catastrophe for us, what happened. Because...
I think I do like to push the buttons that release things, and I think the honesty is very important, to get right down to it.
Yes.
Not only is it a shame what happened here, but it's a catastrophe for the country that we lost our dear neighbors.
Maybe I do it in a fairly aggressive way, but I think that the most important thing here is to get something that is down there, you know what I mean? Something, to get to some real essence.
I have to compose myself, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
I think that there is a problem between Poles and Jews.
Polish
I think that it
culture
still
profits a
exists.
lot.
But these are issues that Jacek and I were discussing, and it turned a bit heated. But hopefully everything will get a bit heated. Hopefully everything will get more heated, and we will start fighting.
I'll tell you what, when people arrive in this country, whether they're Greek, or you're from New Zealand, it's fantastic. No, it really is. That is the most fantastic. It was intense. It was an intense experience. But it happens to be, it really hit me. And South Africans were our most recent immigrants. Has anybody come in touch with any South Africans? A South African bloke said to me the other day, he said, "You know, Austin, I've been in Australia for 4 years and I've lost my accent completely."
If I was living in Warsaw in 1943, the Germans would have brought me here and they would have pushed me into a railway car and taken me directly to be murdered. This was the central gathering place from the ghetto, which was all around this area. This is where the Germans took the Jewish people, men, women and children, to their deaths for no other reason than that they were Jewish people.
It was a demonic thing.
No, it wasn't.
It was a demonic.
It wasn't
thing.
demonic because if you say it was demonic, that immediately assumes that Hitler came from another planet,
No.
came there, took these
He
people,
was
led
a
them away.
human being who
Why did the
willingly-
German people run after him if he was such a nutcase?
Because he represented strength.
Strength? What, a nutcase represented strength?
Well,
How many nutcases represent strength?
full satanic.
It makes me laugh. I don't think I'm going to follow this guy.
It
I think
makes-
when I see this guy, he's a quid.
Deny
The
this-
Nazis murdered 76,000 mentally ill people, and the churches rose up and said, you can't do this, and they stopped doing it. But when they started to murder the Jews, everybody was quiet. Not only the churches, but the entire world. Where do we go now, mate? We're in a poor Jewish area in Warsaw, and there was a Polish woman there, an old Polish woman. We just came across her, which has been happening a lot. We've been coming across people accidentally. What did she say?
She heard from me that your whole family perished.
No, my whole family didn't perish.
No, well, your father didn't, but almost.
She was touching me, and she was saying that she was about 80 years old, and she was saying how much she loved the Jews and how she loved humanity.
Ja lubię wszystkich ludzi.
And now she lives in a Jewish
I
house.
teraz pani mieszka tu w domu, który kiedyś był żydowski.
Tak.
Yes, it used to be Jewish.
Proszę pana, o tutaj się wchodzi
You
u nas
enter there.
i ja mam to.
Can we go and have a
tamto-
look in her apartment?
Tamto okno
You think
jest już
she'll
moje.
take us in
O
there?
jedno
You wanna ask
i
her?
tam
Just ask
drugie.
her.
Pani nas może tam zaprosić?
Ale proszę
Of course, you're most welcome.
Okay, let's have a look. Thank you very much.
Dzień dobry. Przepraszam najmocniej
And then her husband was there too, and we spoke with him at length, and he said that he doesn't understand why there was a problem between the Jews and the Poles, except that
They raised the prices by 2 groszy, which is 2 cents for the Poles, and they sold cheaper to their compatriots.
I stopniowo.
But that happens with every nationality.
Z każdym narodem tak się dzieje. Yes, true.
So actually, well, this man is prejudicial, isn't he? That's what we come out of here thinking. We think this
Ale-
fellow is prejudicial.
Ale czy w takim razie można powiedzieć, że pan jest uprzedzony do nich, że byli tak, I'm not